Welcome back, everyone. So, in this lecture, we will be solving sums from exercise 1.1. So, get ready with your notebooks and we shall start. Okay. So, take out the page of exercise 1.1 from your HSC Maths 1 textbook for standard 11th. So, the question 1A over there. So, question 1 is divided into two parts, A and B. So, question 1A over there is about determine which of the following pairs of angles are coterminal. Now, what do you mean by coterminal? So, coterminal basically means if you add up two angles which have the same initial arm, then those angles should give you 360 degrees. Now, we will understand this with example number 1. So, let's solve example number 1 and try to understand this. So, first question, let x is equal to 210 degrees, y is equal to minus 150 degrees. Okay, so basically either you have to add or subtract. Okay, so x is equals to 210 degrees and y is equals to minus 150 degrees. Now let's see the difference. So x minus y is equal to 210 minus of minus 150. How much do you get? You get 210 plus 150, that is 360. Okay, 360 degrees. So x minus y is giving you 360 degrees. Since 210 minus 150 is equals to 360, you can say that this pair of angle are coterminal. This pair of angle are coterminal. Okay, so that's how we solve this question. So moving on to the second one, let's solve the second one. Let x is equal to, we're solving the second sum, 360 degrees and y is equal to minus 30 degrees. Similarly, we will subtract them. X minus y is equal to 360 minus of minus 30. That will give you 360 plus 30, which is equal to 390. So the difference between the pair is 390 and it's not 360 or multiple of 360. Okay, one more thing. In case if you get some multiple of 360, say 720, then yes, even that clears, that makes the pair of angles coterminal. Okay, so either you should have 360 as the answer or 720 as the answer. Then that is how we get the coterminal case. So we are getting 390, which is neither 360 nor multiply of a multiple of 360, and that's why we can say that this pair of angles are not coterminal, are not coterminal. Okay, yes. Now moving to the third question. The third question again, let x equal to minus 180 and y equal to 540. Okay, so what do we do now? We subtract as usual. X minus y is equal to minus 180 minus 540. Let's see what do we get. 0, 2, 1 carried, we get 720 negative. It's a multiple of 320. It's basically minus 2 into 360. So multiple of 360. Minus 2 into 360, right? And therefore, since the pair of angles is multiple of 360 degree, we can say that pair of angles are coterminal. Okay, and that's how you write the final answer. That's for the third sum. Now moving to the fourth sum. So the fourth sum, the angles which we have are let x equal to minus 405 degrees and let y equal to 675 degrees. As usual, we subtract them. So that becomes minus 405 minus 675 Let's see how much we get. We get 0, 1 carried 8 over here, and then 1 0 minus 1080. Is minus 1080 multiple of 360? Yes, it is. So basically it is minus 3 times 360. It is basically minus 3 times 360. So it's a multiple of minus 3. And we'll write the answer since the pair gives us multiple of 360 degrees, it is coterminal. It is coterminal. Okay. So that's the final answer for the fourth sum. Moving to the next sum, that is the fifth one. So in the fifth sum also, let x is equal to 860 degrees. You need to write this, let it x is equal to 860 degrees and 580 degrees. The reason is all these steps carry marks, and if you don't follow these proper rules, half mark will be cut from your question. So that gives us 2, 0 will be there in the last, and 16 minus 8, 280. We are getting 280. So 280 is not a multiple of 360, and hence this is not our answer. Therefore, since pair of angles don't give us multiple of 360, the angles are not coterminal, okay. So that's for the fifth one. The fifth pair of angles is not coterminal in question 1a. Moving to the last question of 1a, that is question number 6. So the question number 6 is, let x equal to 900 degrees, y is equal to minus 900 degrees. As usual, we subtract them, x minus y, which is equal to 900 minus of minus 900, which gives us plus 1800 degrees. Is 1800 a multiple of 36, 360? Yes, it is. It is basically 5 times that of 360. Okay, so this is positive 5 times that of 360 degrees. And therefore, since the given pair of angles are multiple of 360 degrees, the pair is coterminal. The pair is coterminal. Okay, fine. So if you want, you can also draw for them, but it's not required to draw for them. You can expect such questions for 1 mark or 2 marks, okay, in your board exam papers, semester exam papers, okay. So these are the basic questions of question 1A. Now moving to the next one. Moving to the next question, that is question 1B, okay, of exercise 1.1. So this is question 1B of exercise 1.1. So the question is, draw the angles of the following measures and determine their quadrants. So you need to do two things over here. You need to draw them and also determine their quadrants. Okay, so now let's start with question first. The first question of question 1B. We need to measure minus 140 degree, draw the angle and determine their quadrants. So you will need a protractor for this purpose, and I recommend you to first draw a quadrant, basically x and y axis, having origin at the center of the page. So this is your x axis. Okay, let me draw it properly. Just a minute. Yes. So this is your x axis, and then this is your y axis. Okay. So now we need to draw and plot angles on this particular thing. So this is the x-axis, positive x-axis. Above is the positive y-axis. Origin over here. Okay. So now we will plot angle minus 140. So my initial arm will always be positive x-axis. My initial arm will always be positive x-axis for this purpose. Yes. And if I need to plot minus 140, it's actually minus 140. So we need to consider clockwise rotation. So we will consider clockwise rotation. Okay. So when we go clockwise, minus 90 comes over here. Minus 90 comes over here. And minus 180 will be over here. Right. So minus 140 will lie somewhere between both of them. So you can keep your protractor in inverted way, and then you can plot minus 140 on the graph. So it will come somewhere over here, and that will be your angle, that is minus 140 degrees. Okay. So this is minus, yes. So you can say that minus 140 degree lies in, this is the first, this is the second, and this is the third quadrant. So minus 140 has been plotted and it lies in the third quadrant. Okay. Now moving to the second question, that is to plot 250 degree, draw the angle 250 degree and determine its quadrant. So let's draw 250 degree. Before that, we will erase this. Yes. So now let's plot 250 degree. So for any angle in this particular question, or generally, we measure from positive x-axis always. Okay, remember that. So it's positive 250 degree. In the second question, it's plus 250 degrees. So when we have to plot plus 250 degrees, it will be anti-clockwise from positive x-axis. The rotation will be anti-clockwise. Direction of rotation will be anti-clockwise from positive x-axis. Okay. So now considering anti-clockwise rotation, where will 250 terminal arm lie? 250 degrees terminal arm lie. So when we go anti-clockwise, we get 90 degrees over here on the positive y-axis, 180 degrees on the negative x-axis, and 270 degrees on negative x-axis. So 250 will lie somewhere between 180 and 270. So in this case, you have to keep the protractor in the proper way on origin, and then you can plot. You will get 250 in this manner somewhere over here. So this is amount of rotation. This will be 250. And where will 250 lie? Again, it will lie in the third quadrant. We start counting from first, that is over here. This is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth. Okay. So our answer has come plus 250 degrees plotted, and it lies in the third quadrant. You can note it down. Now moving to the next question, that is to plot 420 degrees, that is more than 360 degrees, and this will be interesting. Just erasing the markings of the previous question. You can plot it till then and write the answer as well. Yes. So now that's the positive y-axis. We will be plotting, this is done, we'll be plotting the third question, that is 420 degrees. How will we plot plus 420 degrees? So there is a plus sign which indicates the rotation should be anti-clockwise from the x-axis, positive x-axis. Yes. So one rotation will give me 360 degrees. This is one complete rotation giving me 360 degrees. I need to plot 420. So what is the difference between 420 and 360? It is 60, right? It is 60. So basically I need to plot 60 degrees more with one rotation, right? So it will come somewhere in the first quadrant like this. So 60 degrees more with one rotation. So one rotation plus 60 degrees. That gives me 420 degrees, and 420 degrees plus 420 degrees lies in the first quadrant. So you can mark this as your answer. I hope you understood how to mark angles of more than 360 degrees. Now moving to the fourth question. Let me erase this. We'll go to the fourth question. Yes. So the fourth question again is 750 degrees. Okay. So when we talk about 750 degrees, it is more than 720. 720 is 2 times multiple of 360, right? 720 is 2 times multiple of 360. That means we require two rotations first. When we start, we require two rotations, and with those two rotations plus 30 degrees we need to plot. So when we add plus 30 to 720, okay, we get 750. That is how you have to think. So we will start from positive x-axis again because the angle is positive, no negative sign is positive. So positive x-axis, the rotation, direction of rotation will be anti-clockwise. So one rotation, two rotation, and then plus 30 degrees, more 30 degrees you have to plot. So somewhere over here, you will get your angle. This is 720, 750, sorry for that, 750 degrees. This will be 750 degrees, okay? And it lies in the first quadrant. So you can note the answer for fourth question. So 750 lies in first quadrant, okay? Similarly, we will do the fifth one, that is 945 degrees. Let's erase this. Just a minute. Yes. So now we will plot for 945 degrees. That's the fifth question. So 945, if we think over this, the nearest multiple of 360 which I can find is 720. So let's subtract 945 from 720. Okay. So from 720 it indicates obviously two rotations. So we need to consider two rotations first. And then whatever the difference is, we need to add that difference to get the required angle and to understand in which quadrant it will lie. So 945 minus 720, 5, 2 to 225. So 225, it will probably lie in third quadrant. Okay. So 225 is something we need to add to after two rotations. We will add 225 after two rotations in anti-clockwise direction. So let's start. It's plus 945. So of course we will consider positive x-axis. So 1, 2, and after that we will stop somewhere in the third quadrant. Okay. So that is where our angle lies. This is the angle. This will be 225 degrees. That is after two rotations, we are adding 225 degrees. So it lies between 180 degree in anti-clockwise sense, and 270 degrees. Yes, between 180 and 270, it will lie over here. That is 225. Now let's plot 1120. Let's think over 1120. Okay, ready? So 1120, the nearest multiple I find for 1120 is 3 times 360, right? That means first we need to have at least 3 rotations of 360 degrees, 3 rotational angles, and then whatever the difference is, we will add up. So we will subtract 3 times 360. So 1120 minus 3 times 360, that is 1120 minus 1080. And okay, let me just check. Yes, it's 1080. So it will be 40 degrees. The difference comes out to be 40 degrees. So we need to add 40 degrees to 3 rotational angles. Okay. So let's do it. Of course, the angle is positive. So direction will be anti-clockwise. From positive x-axis, anti-clockwise rotation initiated. First rotation, second rotation, third rotation, and then we will add 40 degrees. And the angle will lie in, this is 120 degrees. Angle will lie in first quadrant, as you can see. Okay. So 3 rotations and additional 40 degrees. That will give you 1120 degrees. Moving to the seventh question, minus 80 degrees. Now minus 80 degrees is quite simple. You need to go clockwise in this case because the angle is negative, and the angle will lie in fourth quadrant. Okay, so let's erase the essentials of last question. I hope you guys are noting it down. You can pause the video and note these things. Okay. So since the seventh sum consists of minus 80 degrees, the angle is negative. So the rotation will be clockwise. Okay. So we will start rotating below the positive x-axis, considering it as initial arm. So when we go clockwise, we get minus 90 over here. So it will be near 90. Angle will be somewhat like this. And this will be minus 80 degrees. So considering the quadrant, we still count from first, second, third, and then this is the fourth quadrant. Okay. So minus 80 degree lies in the fourth quadrant. I hope you guys have studied about quadrants well in lower standards, because it will be extremely essential for trigonometry as well in the next chapters. Okay. So the eighth sum now, that's the answer for the seventh sum. Minus 80 degrees lies in the fourth quadrant. Rotation will be clockwise. And that's how you can plot it. The protractor has to be kept inverted when you plot clockwise rotation. Okay. So now the next sum, that is the eighth sum. So it is minus 330 degrees. Another interesting question. So when we say minus, of course, the rotation is clockwise. We understand that the rotation is clockwise. So in case of clockwise rotation, minus 90 comes over here, minus 180 comes over here, minus 270 degrees on the positive y-axis, and minus 360 degrees at negative x-axis. Sorry, positive x-axis. So considering this, minus 330 will lie in first quadrant. I can make that out from the range. So how will be the rotation? It is clockwise. So this is how your angle will look. Okay. So this is minus 330 degrees and it lies in the first quadrant. You can note it down. Moving to the ninth question. Once you get the knack of it, how to solve it, how to plot it, it becomes quite fast to solve and quite easy to solve. Not to worry about much. So now moving to the ninth question, that is to draw the angle of minus 500 degrees and determine its quadrant. Minus 500 degrees, what is the nearest multiple I have of 360? It is 360 itself. So let's try to find the difference. So when I talk about minus 500 and I'll subtract with minus 360. The reason is this time we are plotting clockwise, and that's why while subtraction also you need to consider minus 360. So minus 500 plus 360, that gives you minus 140. Okay. So while rotating, you need to consider minus 140 plus 1 clockwise rotation. This will be clockwise rotation angle. One rotational angle, but in clockwise sense. So the rotation starts clockwise. Okay. So one rotation completed. After that, we are talking about minus 140. So it should lie between minus 90 and minus 180. When we consider clockwise, this will be minus 90 and this will be minus 180. So let it complete the rotation and it will lie somewhere over here. Exactly. So this will be minus 140. Sorry, not minus 140, minus 500 degrees. Minus 500 degrees. Yes. So the angle lies in the third quadrant. This lies in third quadrant. You can note it down. We will move to the last question of minus 820. Okay. So let's erase the remaining details and only keep x and y axis for plotting purpose. Yes. So now we will plot minus 820. So minus 820, the nearest multiple of 360 or minus 360 which I get is minus 720. That is two rotations, two clockwise rotational angles. Okay, after two rotations, how much we need to put in? We will be putting in minus 100. More 100 we need to put in after two rotations. So let's begin. Now you guys have got the idea. The rotation will be clockwise. So one rotation, two rotation, and we are plotting minus 100 extra with two clockwise rotational angles. Two clockwise rotational angles. Okay. So minus 90 as usual in case of clockwise over here, minus 180 over here. The angle will lie somewhere between minus 90 and minus 180, somewhat like this. So this is your angle minus 820 degrees. Okay. And it lies in which quadrant? It lies in third quadrant. It lies in third quadrant. Okay. So that's the solution for question 1b. Now we will move to the next question, that is question 2a. Okay. Okay. So now let's begin with question number 2. So in question number 2, we will be solving the angles, or we can say we will be converting the angles given in terms of degrees or degrees and minutes to radians. Okay. So the question is convert the following angles from degrees to minutes. That is question 2. So considering the first question, just a minute. Yes. So we shall continue with our first question. Question number 2. First question. First is angle 85 degrees. So let A is equals to 85 degrees. So if you remember in one of the previous lectures, in that lecture's name was points to be remembered. In that lecture, I told you that in case you want to convert any degree measurement to radian measurement, what will you do? You will multiply that degree measurement with pi upon 180 degrees. Pi upon 180 degrees. Now let's see what we can simplify over here. We can cancel out by 5 clearly, right? So this will be cancelled. We will have 17 over here. 180 will be cancelled. We will have 3 and then 3 carries 36 over here. Yes, so we will get 17 pi upon 36 radian. Okay, so that's our answer. That's the conversion for 85 degrees. This is the first question. Moving to the second question. Similarly, we will solve for second question. Let angle A, you can take any letter. I am taking A, is equal to 250 degrees. So A is equal to 250 into pi by 180. Pi by 180. Alright. So 0 and 0 cut. We are having 18 and 25. Can we cancel it further? I don't think so. They have a common multiple to be cancelled. No. So 25 pi upon 18 radian is the answer. Similarly, we will solve other 4 questions. Moving to question number 3. Let A is equal to minus 132 degrees. So A is equal to minus 132 into pi by 180. Okay. So cut and cut. This is 90. It will cancel out by 2. Both numbers will cancel each other by 2. This is 6. 6 minus 66. Yes, we can cancel still by 3. So minus 22. And this will be 30. We can still cancel by 2. So minus 11 over here. 15 remaining. I think that's the final cancellation. So A will be minus 11 pi radian upon 15. So that's the answer for the third question. Okay, note it down. Now we will go to the fourth question. Fourth question is interesting because we are having angle in terms of degrees as well as minutes. So we will be first converting the angle to completely degree format and then we will convert to radian format. So this is the fourth one. Let A is equal to 65 degrees 30 minutes. Okay. So what will you do with the minute part? In the minute part, you are having 30 minutes. So if you remember, 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes, right? And right now I'm having X degrees. I need to find out what's the component of 30 minutes, right? So what we will do is we will cross multiply unitary method. Okay. So x is equal to 30 minutes divided by 60 minutes. So that gives me cancel 0.5 degrees. So in place of 30 minutes, we can put 0.5 degrees. So this will be this is basically 65 degrees plus x degrees. Whatever we are getting in terms of degrees for 30 minutes, we are getting 0.5. So we'll add that. So A is equal to 65.05 degrees. Okay. Now let's convert this to radian. A is equal to 65.05. Okay, my bad. It's not 0.5, it's just 0.5. While adding, I made a mistake, it's just 0.5. Okay, degrees into pi upon 180. So now let's start the phase of cancellation. This will be 36 on division by 5. This will be 1, 3.1, 13.1. What else can we do? Can we cancel it further? Well, let's see. We can do it. We can do it with, let's do it by 2. So 18 and this 6.55. We'll get 6.55. So let's stop over here and we can say it is 6.55 pi upon 18 radian. Okay. So that's the answer. 6.55 pi upon 18 radian. That's the conversion for 65 degree 30 minutes. Similarly, we will do for fifth question. So let's erase this and start with the fifth question. So let 75 degrees 30 minutes be equal to angle A. So angle A can be written as 75 degrees 0.5, 75.5 degrees, 75.5 degrees. Okay, so A is equal to 75.5 into pi upon 180. Okay, cancellation begins. This and this both go by 5. This is 36. This is 1, 5.1, 15.1. Can we cancel further? Let it be over here. So we will get 15.1 pi upon 36 radians. That's the answer for the fifth question. Now going to the sixth question. Sixth question, last question of question number 2. So let A is equal to 40 degrees 48 minutes. Again, we will apply the unitary method to get x component of 48 minutes. So 1 degree is equals to 60 minutes. So x degrees will be equal to 48 minutes. Cross multiply and you will get x is equal to 48 by 60. So that will be on cancellation 4 by 5, which can be written as 0.8 degrees. We need to add that. So 40 degrees plus x degrees, that becomes 40.8 degrees. Okay. So now A is completely converted to degrees from degrees plus minute system. So A is equal to 40.8 pi upon 180. You need to solve this. We have multiplied. So let's cancel by 2 first. 20.4 and over here we will have 90. Can we cancel further? Yes. So this will be 45 and this will be 10.2. Is there any further chances to cancel? I don't think so. So we will stop here and we will write 10.2 pi radian upon 45. I think we can still cancel by 3. Let's do it then. We can still cancel by 3. We can write it as 45 cancelled by 3 would be 1 and 5, 15. This will be 3.4. Yes, 3.4 pi radian. This is now 3.4 pi radian by 15. Yes, that's the conversion for 40 degrees 48 minutes. So now let's move to the next question, question number 3. All right, so now let's start by solving question number 3 of exercise 1.1. So the question is convert the following angles into degrees. So we have been given angles in terms of radians and we need to convert those angles to degrees. Okay. So the first question, in the main question 3 is let A is equal to 7 pi radian upon 12, 7 by 12 pi radian. Okay. So if you remember, there was a lecture in which I explained this method of converting radian into degrees. How do we do it? For example, you have been given x degrees. You'll convert, x radians. So you convert this radian into degrees by multiplying it with 180 by pi. So that is what we will apply over here. So A is equal to 7 pi radian by 12. You just simply have to multiply with 180 by pi and your angle will be converted to degree. So pi and pi get cancelled. You're having 7 by 12 and 18. So let's cancel it. So if it goes by 12, we will have 15 over here. Yes, 15 over here. So 15 into 7, A should be 15 into 7, that is 105 degree. So the given angle has been converted to radian. So 7 pi by 12 radian is actually equal to 105 degrees. That's the answer. So in the similar way, we need to complete other numericals. So let's begin. Now the second one, that was the first one. Now second one. So minus 5 pi radian by 3. Multiply it with 180 by pi. Pi and pi will get cancelled. We are having 5 upon 3 minus. So 3 and 180 get cancelled. 60 is remaining. So we will get minus 300 degrees. Okay. So that's the answer for the second numerical. So minus 5 pi radian by 3 is actually equal to minus 300 degrees. Okay. Moving to the next one. Third question. You need to convert 5 radian into 180 by pi. Okay. 180 by pi. So in place of 5 radian, okay, 5 radian and 180, this will get multiplied. You will have 18 into 5 gives you 90. So 900. So you will have 900 divided by pi. I have multiplied 5 and 180. Now what can we do over here? So remember, when I've this has been already converted to degrees, but I need to simplify. So the given quantity is in terms of degrees, and in this place I will put pi as 22 by 7. Okay, the value of pi over here should be 22 by 7. So that's why it will be 900 into 7 will come above in the numerator divided by 22. Let's cancel. So we will get 450 over here, 11 over here. Okay, can we cancel further? It looks a bit difficult. So that is what our answer will be. Or for your convenience, what you can do is you can keep your answer till here. Okay. So that's the answer for 5 radian conversion. Now moving to the fourth sum. 11 by 18 pi radian. We are converting this to degrees. So 180 by pi we have multiplied. Pi and pi cancelled. 18 and 180 cancelled. You are having 10 left here. So 11 into 10, 110 degrees. The answer is 110 degrees for fourth sum. Now moving to the last sum of question number 3. That is minus 1 by 4 radian. So minus 1 upon 4, this entire thing is in radian, multiplied by 180 by pi. 180 by pi. What can we do over here? We can cancel out 4. Cancel out 4 and 180. So it will be 4 and 5. So answer is minus 45 upon pi degrees. That's the answer for the fifth sum. So question 4 is completed. Now we will move to question number question 3 is completed. Now we will move to question number 4. So question 4 is express the following angles in degrees, minutes and seconds. So for example, you have been given an angle, say y degrees. Okay. So you need to convert this y degrees to a degrees, b minutes and c seconds, like that. So in this format, I'll show you one numerical and from that you can understand how it is to be done. So let's start with first numerical. Question 1. Let y is equal to 183.7 degrees. So for 183.7 degrees, we can write this in terms of 183 degrees plus 0.7 degrees. Okay. Now keep this in mind. We will substitute in place of 0.7 degrees. How? We will convert 0.7 degrees into minutes first, and then we will add up with the degrees part. So it will become 183 degrees and some minutes. So if you remember, 1 degree is supposed to be 60 minutes. So we are having 0.7 degrees and we don't know how much minute it will be. So using unitary method, we can calculate. So x minutes will be equal to, consider this as x minutes. So x minutes will be equal to 60 minutes into 0.7. So that will give you 7 into 6, 48, 4.8. Will it be 4.8? Just a minute. Yeah, 48. It will be 48 minutes. It will be clearly 48 minutes. So that's the answer. So you will now write 183 degrees plus 48 minutes. Wait a second. No, it's 42. Sorry for the correction. It's 42. So x is equal to 60 into 0.7. That is equal to 42 minutes. So 42 minutes. That's it. That's the answer. 183 degrees, 42 minutes is equivalent to 183.7 degrees. Okay. That's the answer. That's how you have to write. Over here, seconds is 0 seconds. The reason is we are not getting minutes in decimal. If we get minutes in decimal, we will convert the decimal part again to seconds, like that. Okay. So yes, now we can move to the next sum. This was the solution for first sum. That's how your answer will be 183 degrees, 42 minutes and 0 seconds. Yes. Now moving to the second sum. 245.33 degrees. Okay. So let y is equal to 245.33 degrees. You can write this as 245 plus 0.33 degrees. This is also in degrees. So we will convert 0.33 to minutes. So let's assume this is x minutes. Again, unitary method, 1 degree is 60 minutes. And we are having 0.33 degrees, which will be equal to x minutes. So x minutes is equal to 60 into 0.33. Okay. 60 into 0.33. Cross multiplied. Simple. We have cross multiplied. So we will have now 3.3 into 6. So let's calculate 8. 1 carried. You will get 19. Yes, that's how it will be. You will get 19.8. So 19.8 minutes. So first let's convert this to minutes. And then we will convert the seconds wala part. So let y is equal to 245 degrees plus 19.8 minutes. Okay, that's the 0.33 fraction. Okay. It's yeah, fine. So you can write this as 245 degrees plus 245 degrees and 19.8 minutes. But now I need to convert 0.8. So we will keep it as 245 degrees, 19 minutes plus 0.8 minutes. So we need to convert 0.8 into seconds now. So assume it to be y seconds. So as we know, 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. And over here we are having 0.8 minutes. Okay. And we need to calculate y seconds. So cross multiply again. So y seconds will be 60 into 0.8. That will give you 48 seconds. So it will be 245 degrees, 19 minutes. And in place of 0.8, we will substitute 48 seconds. So that will be 48 seconds. And that's how we get the conversion for 245.33 degrees. So 245.33 degrees is equivalent to, it's equivalent to 245 degrees, 19 minutes and 48 seconds. Perfect. Now moving to the last sum of this particular part. Third one, 1 upon 5 radian. So first of all, it's given in radians. So let's convert for our convenience into degrees. Let's convert this first into degrees. So let 1 by 5 into 180 by pi. We are converting this to degrees. So 3 and 3 carried 36, 36 by pi. You are having 36 by pi degrees. We'll put the value of pi. So that is 36 into 7 upon 22. 22 by 7. So 7 comes in the numerator, 22 remains in the denominator as pi is in the denominator. Cancellation begins 11, 18. 18 into 7 and 11. So what is 18 into 7? You will get 6. I carried. Yes, 5 carried. So that is 12, 126. 126 divided by 11. 126 divided by 11. Think over this. Let's cancel. You will have 11. Wait a minute. Yeah, so we can start the cancellation part. We are having 1. 1 is left over here. So again 1, 0.5 left over here. So if 0.5 is left, 4 will go. If 4 considered, then again 60 will be left, 5. Yes, so that is how you can write. You can write it as 11.45 degrees. 11.45 degrees. So now we will convert 11.45 degrees into degree, minute and second. So degree part is done. Now we need to convert further. So let y is equal to 11 degrees plus 0.45 degrees. So over here, the 0.45 degrees needs to be converted to minutes. We need to convert this to minutes. Unitary method, of course, 1 degree is 60 minutes. And we are having 0.45 degrees. So that will be some x minutes. So calculating for x minutes is equal to 60 into 0.45. Okay. So doing this calculation on this side for convenience. So this will be x minutes is equals to 60 into 0.45. So that will be 4.5 into 6, 0, 3 carried. This will be 27. So we are having 27 minutes. 27 minutes. Decimal cancels out the 0 part. So you are having only 27 minutes. So now we can write this as perfectly. 0 seconds will be left because minutes part is not in decimal. It's a perfect number, 27. Okay. So your answer comes out to be y is equal to 11 degrees and 27 minutes. That's your answer. That's the answer for the third sum. Okay. So note it down. Moving to the next sum, the fifth one. So yeah, from the fifth one, word problems start. Proper word problems will begin. So let's understand the fifth question first. So there's a triangle ABC. In triangle ABC, measure angle A is equal to 7 pi by 36 radian. Measure angle B is equal to 120 degrees. We need to find measure angle C in terms of degrees as well as radian. So it is quite simple. What you can do is you can either convert A into degrees or you can either convert B into radian to solve. What I recommend is let's convert A into degrees. So you can do 180 by pi for A. We'll get something in terms of degrees. So we will have measurement of B. We will have measurement of A. We need to find measurement of C first in degrees. And as per the rule of triangles, measure angle A plus measure angle B plus measure angle C should be 180. Sum of all angles of a triangle are 180 degrees, right? Yes. So that is how we will find C since we are having value of A and B in terms of degrees. So the answer which we will get for C will be in terms of degrees, which we will convert further into radian. And that's how we will be solving this numerical. So let's begin. First, let's draw a triangle. Okay, let's draw a triangle. So that's how our triangle will look. You can name different points. You can name different points. You can name this as A, this as B, and this as C. We need to find C. C is missing. Angle A is given 7 pi by 36 radian, which we will convert to degrees soon. And this is 120 degrees. Oh, it doesn't look like 120 degrees. Fine, we will draw an obtuse. I think that's how the triangle will look. Yes, so A over here, B over here, and C over here. So C is missing, B is 120, and A is given as 7 pi by 36 radians. Okay, this is in terms of radians. So now let's begin. Step number one. Step number one. Okay, step number one. Given that measure angle A is equal to 7 pi by 36 radian. So let's convert this to degrees. 180 by pi I have multiplied. We'll cut this 36 and 180. This will be cancelled and you will have 5 over here. So 7 into 5, we are having 7 into 5, that is 40 degrees. Okay, that is 40 degrees. Measure angle B is already how much? 120 given, 120 degrees given. Now second step, in triangle ABC, measure angle A plus measure angle B plus measure angle C will be equal to 180 degrees. So reason will be sum of all angles of triangle, of any triangle is 180 degrees. Okay. Now we need to substitute these values. I'll do it over here. So therefore, that is 40 degrees. We got it from first step for A, and then 120 degrees for B. Measure angle C is unknown. We are finding it, and 180 degrees. So the sum of both, we need to put it over there and it will be subtracted. Therefore, measure angle C will be equal to 180 minus 160. That will be measure angle C giving us 20 degrees. So that's the answer in terms of degrees. Now let's convert this to radians. So measure angle C is equal to 20 degrees into pi by 180. Pi by 180. Both get cancelled. 9 left here. You will have pi by 9 radians. You will have pi by 9 radians. That's answer of measure angle C in terms of degrees as well as in terms of radians. That's the solution for the fifth question. Moving ahead, going to the sixth one. So the sixth question is similar. We are having two angles in terms of radians this time. One is 5 pi by 9 radian. Another one is 5 pi by 18 radian. So basically, let's say this is angle A and let's say this is angle B. I can say that angle B is actually half of angle A from the observation, since numerators for both the angles are same and the denominators are actually double. So I can say that angle B is half of angle A. This is an important observation to keep in mind. Okay. So starting with this, we need to find the degree and radian measurement of the third angle. So it's quite similar to that of previous question. You can draw a random triangle just for your understanding. A normal triangle, even if you draw, not considering the nature of the triangle, let it be rectangular or right angled or scalene or isosceles, it's fine. So measure angle A is 5 pi by 9 radian. Okay. And measure angle B is 5 pi by 18 radian. This time, I will not convert the angles, given angles, to degrees first. Rather, I will solve them in terms of radian only. So let's begin. First step, given that measure angle A, we have assumed measure angle A to be 5 pi by 9 radian and measure angle B to be 5 pi by 18 radian. Okay, fine. So in the second step, in triangle ABC, angle A, measure angle A plus measure angle B plus measure angle C is equal to 180 degrees, right? But instead of 180, what we will do is we will write pi radian, because already we are having A and B in terms of radians. So pi radian. The reason will be same. Sum of all angles of a triangle are 180. Sum of all angles of triangle is 180 degrees. All right. So measure angle A plus measure angle B plus measure angle C equals to pi. Now substituting the values, 5 pi by 9 plus 5 pi by 18 plus measure angle C is equals to pi. Now let's add them. we will use bit of LCM over here. Multiply kiyo. So we will multiply with 2 by 2 for angle A. So the base is same. We get the base as 18. Okay. So now measure angle C will be equal to pi minus, I've taken this entire angles on the other side, so we can subtract from pi. So that will be pi minus 10 pi by 18 plus 5 pi by 18, which is nothing but pi minus 15 pi by 18. The base is common, we can add the numerators. So 15 and 18 get cancelled, 6 and 5 remaining. So we are having pi minus 5 pi by 6. Okay. Further, cross multiply, we can cross multiply. We will have 6 pi minus 5 pi by 6. So that will be pi by 6 radian. And that's your final answer. So measure angle C is equals to pi by 6 radian. That's answer in terms of radians. We need to convert this to degrees. How will we convert this to degrees? Measure angle C is equals to pi by 6 into 180 by pi. We are converting to degree. That's why pi and pi cancelled. 6 and 180 cancelled. You will have 30 degrees as your answer. So answer for angle C is 30 degrees, pi by 6 radian. So question 6 is also done. Copy the question so we can move to the next one. Next question. Question number 7. This is quite interesting. In a right angle triangle. So over here we have some clue. The triangle is said to be right angle. That means one of the angles will be 90 degrees. That means one of the angles will be 90 degrees. The acute angles are in the ratio 4:5. The acute angles are in the ratio 4:5. Find the angles of the triangle in degree and radian. So we need to find both the angles. The one angle which is in the ratio 4 and the another angle which is in the ratio 5. We need to find for both of them in terms of degrees and radian. So let's draw a triangle first, a right angle triangle first. Since they have specified that given triangle is right angle, so we will draw accordingly. So that's how a right angle triangle looks. So the 90 degree was over here. So this particular angle is 90 degree. So let's say angle A is 4x, angle B is 5x. They have said the acute angles are in the ratio 4:5. So let's assume angle A to be a multiple of 4x, and angle B to be a multiple, angle C, sorry, to be a multiple of 5x, and angle B will be equal to 90 degrees. Okay. So let's begin with our solution. Okay. So starting with the solution, we need to first write, let measure angle A, we need to write our assumptions, is equal to 4x degrees. Measure angle B is equal to 90 degrees since it's given that that triangle is right angled. Measure angle C is equals to 5x degrees. So these are our assumptions. Now let's calculate in the second step. In triangle ABC, measure angle A plus measure angle B plus measure angle C is equal to 180. Same reason, sum of all angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Okay. So now let's substitute the values. 4x in place of A, 90 in place of B, and 5x in place of C. All these are equal to 180. Now let's add the x one. So we will get 9x plus 90 is equal to 180. Let's put the number on one side. 90 goes on the other side. This implies that x is equal to 180 minus 90, which is now equal to 90. Okay. So we are having, therefore, 9x is equal to 90. We can divide by 9. So x is equal to 10 we get. Once we divide by 9, we get x as equal to 10. So we have got the common multiple which we assumed over here. So can we find measure angle A? So therefore, This is the third step you can consider, finding measure angle A. So I hope you guys have copied till here. I'll erase this and we can start with the third step from above. Yes. So the third step, measure angle A is equal to 4x. So that is 4 into 10, which is equal to 40 degrees. This is answer in terms of degrees. If I want to convert this into radian, what I'll do? Pi by 180. Okay, pi by 180. So let's cancel this and this. So it's okay if we keep it as 4 by 18 pi radian. So that's in terms of radian. Similarly, we need to calculate for angle C. So let's erase this. I hope you guys have copied it. You can rewind the video, pause it, and copy the following steps. Measure angle C is equal to 5x. So that will be 5 into 10, which is 50. 50 degrees is the answer. And we will convert this to radian as well. 50 into pi by 180 cancelled. We are having 5 pi radian by 18 as the answer. So this is in terms of degrees. This is in terms of radians. So we have completed question number 7. Moving to the question number 8. So all right, we will be starting with example 8. So let's read the question first. The sum of two angles is 5 pi radian. Okay. So let's assume the two angles be, so this is the solution part. Let the two angles be x and y. So sum of two angles x and y is 5 pi radian. Now 5 pi radian is actually equal to, you can convert this to degrees into 180 by pi. That will give you 900 degrees. Yes, that should give you 900 degrees. Okay, so this is x plus y is equal to 900. So this is one equation we get on adding two different angles. Equation number 1, you can mark it. And their difference is 60 degrees. Find their measures in degrees. And they have said that the difference between the two angles is 60 degrees. And we need to calculate these x and y separately. What is x and what is y, we need to find out. We need to calculate the two angles in terms of degrees. And that's the reason why we converted 5 pi radian to degrees in the beginning itself. So now let's solve it simultaneously. X plus y is equal to 900. X minus y is equal to 60. Add, we are adding both. So plus y minus y cancel. 2x is equal to 960 you get. Okay. So for x, we divide 960 by 2. What do we get? We get 480, 480. So x comes out to be 480 degrees. X comes out to be 480 degrees. Now substituting 480 degrees in place of x in equation 2. I'll take equation 2 as it is more simpler to calculate. Substituting x equal to 480 in equation 2. Okay. So x minus y is equal to 60. Therefore, 480 minus y is equal to 60. So that will give you y is equal to 480 minus 60. That will be 420 degrees. So we got value of y, I'm writing it over here. We got y as 420 degrees. So that's the answer. X is equal to 480 and y is equal to 420. Now moving to the next sum. You can copy this down. The next sum. Question number 9. Measures of the angles of a triangle are in the ratio 3:7:8. That means the three angles of the triangle are in the ratio 3:7:x. So we can consider these angles, say ABC. Let angle A be 3x, and let angle B be 7x, and let angle C be 8x. Then we need to find measures of these angles, both in terms of degrees and radians. Okay. So let's begin. So first, let's draw a rough triangle for our reference. That's how the triangle will look. Okay. So over here will be 8x, over here will be 3x, and over here will be 7x. You can name them accordingly, A, B, C, like that. Okay. So solution, let measure angle A is equal to 3x. We have taken x as a constant. It's a common multiple for all the three angles. Measure angle B is equals to 7x and measure angle C is equals to 8x. Now applying the same rule in triangle ABC, measure angle A plus measure angle B plus measure angle C gives you 180 degrees. Sum of all angles of a triangle. All angles of a triangle is 180. That's the reason for using this property. Substitute everything. Therefore, 3x plus 7x plus 8x should be 180. Yes. Let's add them. We will get 18x as equal to 180 degrees. We add all three of them. And that's how we get 18 and 180 get cancelled. 10 is remaining. And that's how we get x equal to 10 degrees. So we have got the value of x, the value of common multiple. So we'll substitute value of common multiple in the assumption. Substituting, solving over here. Substituting x equal to 10. We will get measure angle A is equals to 3x, that is 3 into 10, that is 30 degrees. That's the answer in terms of degrees. We also have to convert into radians. So 30 into pi by 180. Cancel it out. You will get pi by 6 radian. So that's the answer in terms of both radian and degrees. Similarly, measure angle B is equals to 7x, which is equals to 7 into 10, which is equal to 70 degree, which is equal to 70 into pi by 180. 0 and 0 cancel. Answer is 7 pi by 18 radian. Okay. Now we need to write for C, measure angle C. So let me erase this particular part so we can write it over here. Measure angle C is equal to, so measure angle C is 8x. So 8x is equal to 8 into 10. That gives you 80 degrees. That's the answer in terms of degrees, radians. Okay. So we also have to convert it into radians. So pi by 180 we multiplied with, cancel, 4, and this is 9. So this is 4 pi by 9 radian. Okay. 4 pi by 9 radian. So that's the answer for all the three angles. Your answers are 30, 70, and 80 degrees respectively. So you can copy the solution. We'll move to the next question. So the next question is, the measures of the angles of a triangle are in AP. Now what does AP mean? AP means arithmetic progression. Arithmetic progression. Okay. So this we learned in 10th standard. Yes, 9th and 10th standard. In 9th and 10th standard, we learned about arithmetic progression. All right. So in case of arithmetic progression, they have said what they have said. The measures of the angles of triangle are in AP. That means, for example, if one angle is A minus D, another will be A, and the next one will be plus D. So D is the common difference over here. So this will be the pair of angles we will be using. So let the three angles be A minus D, A, and A plus D, like that. The second condition is, and the greatest is 5 times the smallest. That means A plus D, this will be the greatest, of course. It has plus D. That's why it's the greatest. And this particular term has minus D. That's why it's the least. So the greatest, A plus D, will have 5 times that of smallest. So This will be the second condition. Okay. Find the angles in degree as well as radians. Okay. So using these two conditions, first condition is the given angles of a triangle are in arithmetic progression, and we've assumed the angles to be a minus d, a and a plus d as per the rule of arithmetic progression. Second, greatest angle is 5 times the smallest one. So a plus d will be equal to 5 times a minus d. That is the second condition. So using these two conditions, we will solve. First, let's draw a diagram, and then we can continue with the numerical. Triangles can be of any sort as they have not specified what exactly it will be. So the angles over here will be, for example, this is a plus d, this will be a, and this will be a minus d. So in this manner, we will have three angles. Okay. If you want, you can name them XYZ, triangle XYZ. Okay. The solution starts from here. So let's begin. Let the three angles, let the angles of triangle, let the angles of the triangle in AP be a minus d, a and a plus d. Okay. Let the triangle, let the triangle be named triangle XYZ such that measure angle X is equal to a minus d, measure angle Y is equal to a, and measure angle Z is equals to a plus d, a minus d. Okay, like that. So these are our assumptions. Now we will continue with the solution part. Okay. So in the solution part, so this was the first step. Now the second step. In triangle XYZ, sum of all angles, that is measure angle X plus measure angle Y plus measure angle Z, is supposed to be 180 degree. Same reason, sum of all angles of a triangle is 180. Now a plus d plus a minus d will give you 180. I have substituted the values which we assumed in case of AP, that is a plus d, a and a minus d. Now few things are getting cancelled. As we can see, plus d and minus d get cancelled. Okay. After this, what are we left with? We are left with only a's, so we will add them. So we will have 3a is equal to 180 degree. This way I get value of a. A is equal to 60 degrees. 3 and 180 get cancelled. We are having a as equal to 60 degrees. Perfect. So that's our first conclusion. Mark this statement as statement number 1. This result as number 1. We will use it later. Now erasing the assumption part so we can continue with the third step on the screen. Okay. So according to the given condition, this is the third step. According to the given condition, largest angle or the greatest angle, that is a plus d, will be equal to 5 times the smallest, a minus d. Okay. So simplifying it, a plus d is equals to 5a minus 5d. So taking d on one side and taking a on the other side. So this will be 5d plus d is equals to 5a minus a. So this will give me 6d is equals to 4a. So therefore it will be a by d is equals to 6 by 4. Cancel, cancel. That will be 3 by 2. And we get ratio of a and d. Now we will use this to find value of d. We have already found out value of a. So erasing some more things for calculation purpose. Yes. So over here, I can write that d is equal to 2 by 3 times of a. Yes. Therefore, we will substitute value of a over here. 2 by 3 into 60. Cancel it out. 20. So you will have 40 over here. So value of d is equal to 40. D is equals to 40 degrees. Okay. This is second statement. So we have got two important conclusions of A and D. You need to use these values and substitute them. So doing the fourth step, erasing the left hand side, you can copy as I'm writing. You can pause the video and note the steps down. Mark the sum. This sum is important from board's point of view and also semester exam point of view. Okay. So this is the fourth step in which we will be calculating the values. So measure angle X is equal to A plus D, and value of A is 60 plus value of D is 40. That gives me 100 degrees. So we have got the answer in terms of degrees. Now converting this answer to radians, 100 into pi by 180. Cancel it out, cancel it out. 5 and 9. So in terms of radians, you will get 5 pi by 9 radian. This is for angle X. Now similarly for angle Y, measure angle Y is equal to A, only A. So this is 60 degrees. Now converting 60 degrees to radian. 60 into pi by 180. So that gives me on cancellation pi by 3 radians. Pi by 3 radians. Okay. I'll erase the other part. Yeah. So now measure angle Z, the last angle, is equal to A minus D. So that will be 60 minus 40. So that gives me 20 degrees. That's the answer in terms of degrees. We are converting for radian. So 20 into pi by 180. Cancel it out. You will get 9 over here. So that is pi by 9 radian. Pi by 9 radian. Okay. So that's the answer for this question. We have got angles of all. We have got the angles for all three, X, Y, and Z, in terms of degrees as well as radians. You can note it down. We'll move to the next question. Question number 11. Now this is interesting because we have got a cyclic quadrilateral. If you remember in 10th standard in circle chapter, we learned what is a cyclic quadrilateral. So what is a cyclic quadrilateral? It's basically a circle in which a quadrilateral is fitted such that the vertices of the quadrilateral lie on the circumference of the circle. All four vertices should lie on the circumference of the circle. So let's draw one. For example, this is the circle we are talking about. In this particular circle, we are having a quadrilateral fitted inside. You can give that quadrilateral a name. Yes, so this is a cyclic quadrilateral. Fine. So let's name it A, B, C, D. The four vertices A, B, C, D lie on the circumference of the circle, and that's why we call it a cyclic quadrilateral. Okay. So in a cyclic quadrilateral, two adjacent angles are 40 degrees and pi by 3 radian. So they have said two adjacent angles. So neighboring angles, you can say. So angle A is, for example, 40 degrees over here. Then angle B will be pi by 3 radian. Okay. So pi by 3 radian is 60 degrees. We have calculated this many times and you should remember this particular value now. So pi by 3 radian is equals to 60 degrees. So 40 and 60, these two angles are given to us. Now what are they saying? Find the angles of the quadrilateral in degrees. So we need to find the remaining angles, that is angle D and angle C, but in terms of degrees. So that's why I converted angle B to 60 degrees before only. So let's begin with the solution part. You have to draw the diagram as well while copying the solution in your notebooks. So let cyclic quadrilateral be quadrilateral ABCD such that measure angle A is equal to 40 and measure angle B is equal to pi by 3 radian, which we will convert now into degrees. 180 by pi, cancel pi, and this you will get 60 degrees. Yes. Okay. Now we need to find angle C and angle D. How will we do it? So there's a property of cyclic quadrilateral if you don't remember. let me remind you. The opposite angle in a cyclic quadrilateral, pair of opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary, which means that measure angle A plus measure angle C should give you 180 degree. And similarly, angle B and angle D, measure angle B and measure angle D, they should give you 180 degree. So this property is called pair of opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. Okay, fine. So you need to remember this property, and using this property we will be solving. So let's begin with the first step. Measure angle A plus measure angle C should give you how much? 180, right? So let's calculate. A is 40 degrees plus measure angle C is 180. We will shift 40 on the other side, so it will get subtracted with 180. So measure angle C is equal to 180 minus 40, which is equal to 140 degrees. So we have got value of measure angle C. Therefore, measure angle C is equal to 140 degrees. So that's the first answer. Note it down. Okay. After this, we will calculate for measure angle D. We will calculate for measure angle D. So I'll erase this. I hope you guys have noted it down. All right. So the second step, measure angle B plus measure angle D is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, 60 plus measure angle D is equals to 180. We will shift 60 on the other side, so the angle gets subtracted with D. Therefore, measure angle D is equal to 180 minus 60, which is equal to 120 degrees. So that's the answer. Therefore, measure angle D is equal to 120 degrees. If you want to check your answers, what you can do is you can add all the 4 angles. So we have found out that measure angle D is now how much? 120 degrees, and that measure angle C is 140 degrees. So you can add all the angles and see whether you are getting 360 degrees to cross check your answers, because sum of all angles of any quadrilateral is 360 degrees. So let's cross check. 40 plus 60 is 100. 100 plus 140 will give you 240, and 240 plus 120 will give you 360. Hence, our answers are correct. So you can note these answers, you can draw this diagram, you can note this property by pausing the video. We will move ahead with the next question, question number 12. Question 12. One angle of a quadrilateral has measure 2 pi by 5 radian. Okay, so one angle is given 2 pi by 5 radian. And the measure of other 3 angles are in the ratio 2:3:4. Find their measures in degree and radian. Okay, so let's draw a rough quadrilateral. So that's the quadrilateral we have. So they have said one angle is 2 pi by 5 radian. Okay. Another angle we don't know, but they have given us ratios 2x, 3x, and then 4x. Okay. I've taken common multiple as x. So say angle quadrilateral ABCD, we will name it. So we have some names for the angles for reference. We can convert 2 pi by 5 radian. So on conversion of 2 pi by 5 radian, we will get 2 by 5 into 180. Pi and pi get cancelled. This is 36 into 2. So that gives you 72 degrees. So basically, angle A is equal to 72 degrees. I hope you guys got it. So the only property we will be using over here is, you can write the assumptions part and the common multiple part. So we will use in quadrilateral ABCD, measure angle A plus measure angle B plus measure angle C plus measure angle D is equal to 180 degrees. Okay. Oh, sorry, not 180, it's 360. It's 360 degrees. The property is sum of all angles of a quadrilateral is 360. Sum of all angles of a quadrilateral is 360. Okay. So measure angle A, therefore 72 plus 2x plus 3x plus 4x. We are substituting the possible values we have. So now we will shift 72 on the other side and we will add these three parts. So therefore we will have 9x in total. 9x is equal to 360 minus 72. So that will give you 360 minus 72 is equal to 8, and then
the answer is 288.
All right, so the answer is 288. Okay, so that will be 288. Therefore 9x is equal to 288. So x is equal to 288 divided by 9. Let's cancel this. You will get 3 and 232 as the answer. So value of x is 32. Value of x is 32 degrees. We have still got some work. We need to convert and substitute all the values. Okay. So remember that value of x is 32. That's the first step. This was the first step. In the next step, we will calculate values of a, b, c, and d in terms of degrees as well as radians. That will be the final answer. So let's erase and go to the next step. All right. To start with the next step, second step. So measure angle A is given to us as 2 pi by 5 radians. You have to convert it 2 pi by 5 into 180 by pi. Pi and pi get cancelled. So 5 and this 36. So 2 into 36, you're having 72. You're having 72. All right. So A is 72. Now calculating for, this is in radians as well as degrees. Now calculating for angle B. Just erasing all this stuff. Yeah. So measure angle B is equal to 2x is equal to 2 into 32. That gives you 72 degrees again. And as you know, it's equivalent to angle A. So I can directly write 2 pi by 5 radian. It's radian measure. Now measure angle C is equals to 3x, which is 3 into 32. Okay, 3 into 32. That will be 6 and 9. So that is 96. Okay, 96 degrees, which is 96 into 180. Sorry, pi by 180. That is pi by 180. So we can cancel it. So let's cancel it. What will we get? So let's do cancel it by 2 first. 48, 90. Then again 24, 45. Okay. Can we cancel it further? Yes, we can. This will be 8 and this will be 15. So 8 by 15 is the answer in terms of radians. 8 pi by 15 radians. This is for angle C. Now calculating for angle D. Calculating for angle D. So calculating for angle D. Measure angle D is equal to 4x. So that will be 4 into 32. That gives me 8 and 12, 128 degrees. That's the answer. We will convert it to radians, pi by 180. Cancel it, 64, 90, 45, 32. Can we cancel it further? No, I don't think so. It's going by any other table. So 32 pi by 45 is the answer in terms of radian for angle D. So that's the answer for all the angles. Note it down. We will move to the next sum. So the next sum is find the degree and radian measure of exterior and interior angle of a regular pentagon, hexagon. So basically for regular polygons of different number of sides. We will be doing this for regular polygons of different number of sides. Let's say pentagon or hexagon, septagon, octagon. So pentagon basically means 5-sided polygon. Hexagon means 6-sided polygon. Octagon means 8-sided. And septagon means it is 7-sided polygon. Okay, so according to number of sides, the interior and exterior angle will change, right? They will depend on the number of sides of a polygon. So let's understand first the concept of how we can determine the exterior angle using the number of sides of a polygon, and accordingly we can also find interior angles. All right, so we'll begin. All right, so let's start solving. And before solving, what I'll do is I'll give you few key formulas to solve these kind of questions. How? So first key formula is, remember that each exterior angle will be equal to 360 degree divided by number of sides of the polygon, which is given by n. Okay, so exterior angle, number of exterior angles will be equal to number of sides of a polygon, Okay, so for example, I'm having pentagon, the first example. So I'll have 5 exterior angles as well. Okay, the number of sides of polygon will be equal to number of exterior angles. So if you have 5 sides, then it will be 5 exterior angles, like that. Okay, the second point to be remembered is exterior angle plus interior angle. Exterior angle plus interior angle gives you 180 degree. So if you add them both, exterior and interior, you will get 180 degrees. Okay, so now let's begin with the questions. So the first question, solution, is for pentagon. The given polygon is pentagon. So number of sides for pentagon is 5. So exterior angle, each exterior angle is equal to, say x is equal to 360 degree divided by 5. Cancel it out. You will get 72 degrees. That's the value of each exterior angle in case of pentagon. You can also convert it into radian. So pi upon 180, that will be 2 by 5, 2 pi by 5 radian. Okay. Okay. So now let's talk about interior angle. So exterior angle plus interior angle will give you how much? 180 degree, as discussed. So similarly, 72 plus interior angle, will assume it to be y, plus y is equal to 180 degrees. So let's put 72 on the other side. You will get y is equal to 108 degrees. Okay, we got y as 108 degrees. So interior angle in case of pentagon is equal to y is equal to 180 degrees. Sorry, 108 degrees, not 180. It's 108 degrees. Yes, that is equal to 108 into pi by 180 for converting this to radian. Let's cancel. So on cancellation, you'll get 90 over here 52, 54. Cancel it further, you will get 227, 45 over here. Cancel it 9, 15, cancel it 3, cancel it 5. So that will give you 3 pi by 5 radian. Okay, 3 pi by 5 radian. So that's the answer for the first sum. Exterior angle is equal to 72, that is 2 pi by 5 radian, and interior angle is equal to 108, that is 3 pi by 5 radian. Note it down. We'll move to the hexagon. Second sum, we are solving for hexagon now. So when I talk about hexagon, we are having 6 sides. So n is equal to 6. Let each exterior angle be equal to x is equal to 360 divided by n. So that gives you 360 divided by 6, which is equal to 60 degrees. Now we will convert 60 degrees to radian, as we need to show in both degree and radian measurement. So pi by 180. On cancellation, it gives you pi by 3 radian. Now let interior angle be represented by y degrees. So therefore, x, that is exterior angle plus interior angle, should give you 180. Now y is equal to 180 minus x, which means 180 minus 60, which is 120 degrees. So we got each interior angle is equal to y is equal to 120 degrees, which is into pi by 180. Cut. You will get 2 pi by 3 radian. Okay. So that's the answer. That's the answer for exterior and interior angle in case of a hexagon. Now we will move to the case of septagon. So when I talk about septagon, I mean 7-sided figure. So for septagon, I'll write over here the third sum, n is equal to 7. So let each exterior angle p is equal to x, which is 360 by 7, n, which is 360 by 7. Okay. So shall we cancel it? Yes. Yes, if we are able to cancel it, or it's okay if we keep it in this way. 360 by 7 degrees you are getting. Okay. If you cancel, you'll get answer in terms of decimal. Now we need to convert this into radian as well. 360 by 7 into pi by 180. So these two get cancelled, 2 is remaining. The answer in terms of radian is 2 pi by 7 radian. Okay. Now for exterior angle, exterior plus interior angle. Now we are calculating for interior angle is equal to 180, the second property. So y plus 360 by 7 is equal to 180. We'll put 360 by 7 on the other side. We will get y is equal to 180 minus 360 by 7. Okay. So that will be 180 into 7 minus 360 by 7. Let's calculate. 180 and just do 18 into 7. You will get 6, 5. That is 126, 0. Okay. So you are getting 1260 minus 360 by 7. Solving it over here, we'll solve over here. Over there it's crowded, but so minus 360, you should get 900. So 900 by 7 in this case. So your each interior angle is equal to, this is interior angle. Okay. So each interior angle is equal to 900 by 7 degrees. We'll convert this into radian, pi by 180. So cut 5. So answer is 5 pi by 7 radian. 5 pi by 7 radian. Okay. So that's the answer in case of septagon. You can note it. Here's the answer and here's the answer. Okay. Moving to octagon. So in case of octagon, number of sides is 8. I'll do directly now. X is equal to 360 by 8. X is exterior angle. So that is cancelling it out. It will be how much? It will go by 4 first. So 4 and then 4 remaining. So 45. We'll get 45 degrees. Yes. So X is 45 degrees. So X plus Y is equals to 180. We'll calculate for interior now. Y is interior angle. 180 minus 45. That is 135. Now converting this answers to radian. So 45 into pi by 180. That gives you 4. Pi by 4. Pi by 4 radian. And now 135 into pi by 180. That gives you 3 over here on cancellation and 4 over here. So that is 3 pi by 4 radian. Okay. So that's the answer for exterior and interior angle in case of an octagon. So this is exterior and Y is interior angle. Note it down. So that's the solution for main question number 3. Sorry, question number 13. Now we will move to question number 14, and question number 14 will be a bit interesting. It is about clocks and angles. Okay. So question number 14. Find the angle between the hour hand. Find the angle between the hour hand and minute hand in a clock. So we have been given 6 cases, and in all these 6 cases, we need to find the angle between hour hand and minute hand. How will we do it? Let's see. So the first case, let's see, is 10 past 11. So let's draw a clock first. Let's draw a clock first. I'm drawing the circle a bit big so we can properly mark things. So 12 will be over here. 1, 3 will be over here. 6, 9. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. Okay. So that's the clock we have. So we will have 1 hour hand and 1 minute hand. The first case is for 10 past 11, which means the time is 11:10. Let it be AM or PM, it doesn't matter. So it's 11:10. Okay. So the time is 11:10. So the minute hand will be at 2. So the minute hand will be exactly at 2. Perfect. Yes. But the hour hand will be slightly ahead of 11, right? It will not be at exactly 11. It will be slightly ahead of 11, right? Somewhat like this. So we need to find the angle over here. We need to find the angle formed over here. It will not be exactly 90. Okay, it will be slightly less than 90. We need to also consider the factor that the time has moved 10 minutes further than what we expected. Okay, so we need to calculate by how much fraction the hour hand has moved ahead. Okay, how much fraction the hour hand has moved ahead. So if we see, for explaining you the concept in a better way, each division in the clock makes 30 degree, right? Each division in the clock makes how much? 30 degrees. Perfect. So can I say that I need to calculate this angle, subtracting the whatever is left. This is already 30. This is already 30. Perfect. So I need to add whatever x I get. So how will I find that? How will I find it? That's the case. So 1 hour consists of 60 minutes, right? 1 hour is having 60 minutes. So how much hour, x hours will give me how much minutes? For example, I need to find for 10 minutes over here. I need to find the conversion for 10 minutes in case of hours. So x is equal to, by unitary method, cross multiply, you will get 10 by 60. So that is 1/6, 1/6 of an hour. Okay, 1/6 of an hour. So what I'll do is, for calculating this, I'll multiply the remaining 30 degrees by 1/6. 1/6 plus, already there is 30 degree between 12 and 1, and already there is 30 degree between 1 and 2 division. So 1/6 of 30 degree, let's calculate this, cancel it out. You will have 5. You will have 5. Okay. You will have 5. So we need to subtract this 5 from the actual 30. Getting it? Fine. So angle over here will be 30 minus 5. Angle created over here will be 30 minus 5 degrees, as we have calculated over here. So therefore, angle formed by 10 past 11 will be 25 plus 30 plus 30. The division between 11 and 12 will give me actually 25, because the hour hand has moved slightly ahead of 11, and that slightness is 1/6 times of that hour. Okay, already 10 minutes have passed, so 1/6 of that gap is reduced. Okay, so that's why I'm subtracting 30 and 5. So 25 plus 30 plus 30, that gives you 60, 75. So your answer is 75 degrees for the first case. For the first case, your answer comes out to be 75 degrees. I hope you understood how to solve this. We'll see more examples, and from those you will understand them in a better way. So let's move to the next question. So the next question is 20 past 11. We will be calculating for 20 past 11. All right. So for 20 past 11, let's draw the hour hand and the minute hand. So 20 past 11 means 7:20. The time is 7:20, 7 hours and 20 minutes. The hour hand will be at around 7, bit ahead of 7. And 20 minutes, the minute hand will be at exactly 4. So let's calculate. So this is how it will look. The minute hand is exactly at 4. And the hour hand is, it has already passed 7. It is bit ahead of 7. Bit ahead of 7. Okay. So now calculating this angle, again we will use the same method. What we'll do is, we need to understand first how much consecutive divisions it's covering. So it is covering, already it is covering 3 divisions. So between 2 consecutive divisions, the angle is 30. So like that, it's covering 3 divisions, 7 to 6, 5 to 6, and 4 to 5. So this particular part gives me already 90 degrees. This is already 90 degrees, and something extra has crossed. Our hand has crossed a bit more distance. So we need to add that something extra. How much will be 20 minutes? Let's take the ratio. I'm having 20 minutes, right? So 20 by 60. We'll do 20 by 60 into 30 degrees. 20 minutes upon 60 minutes into 30 degrees. That is 1/3. Okay. So 1/3, 3 and this cancel, 10 degrees. So this question mark represents 10 degrees more. So our answer is angle between hour hand and minute hand in case of 7 past 20 will be 90 degrees plus 10 degrees. That is 100 degrees. Okay. That is how much? 100 degrees. You can note this answer. I hope you guys understood the concept of it, how you have to do it. Okay. Fine. So now moving to the next question, that is the third one. The answer is 100 degrees for second one. Yeah. So now the next question, that is the third one. 35 past 1. So they have said 35 past 1. This is interesting. So basically the time is 1:35. The time is 1:35. 35 minutes and 1 hour. So if the time has passed 35 from 1, then the minute hand, will be somewhere at 7. Yes. For 35, the minute hand should be at 7. And the hour hand would have already crossed 1 by little bit. It will be somewhere between 1, more towards 2, like that. Okay. So now, again, using the concept of consecutive divisions, I can say that between 2 and 7, how many divisions are there? How many consecutive divisions are there? So we are having 30 degrees over here, 30 degrees over here, 30 over here, again 30, more 30. So we are having 150 in total. This is in total 150 degrees. Okay, 150 degrees. And now we are calculating for the difference over here. What will be this difference? X. This difference is to be calculated in this way. X is equal to 35 minutes have passed, right? So 35 divided by 60 minutes. Why I'm dividing by 60? Because 1 hour consists of 60 minutes into 30 degrees. Because the division of 1 hour between 1 and 2 will have 30 degrees. Cancel it. You will get 7. Yes, 7 and 12. Can we cancel it further? Okay, let's try a different way of cancelling. We'll cancel it by 30 and 60 rather than 35 and 35 and 60. Yes. So this is 30. This and this cancel. 2 is remaining. And if we cancel it further, what do we get? We get on cancellation 17.5. We get 17.5 degrees. Yes. So we are not adding 17.5 over here. Okay. This is basically we need to subtract. This is something we need to subtract with 30. Okay. Basically something we need to subtract with 30, and that will be x. This is not x. So 30 minus 17.5. 30 minus 17.5 should give you 12.5. Should give you 12.5 degrees. Okay. So that will be, in this case, 150 plus 12.5 degrees. That will be 162.5 degrees. That's the answer. Okay. 162.5 degrees is the answer. Now moving to the next question, fourth one, quarter to 6. Quarter to 6 means 5:45. We'll move to that one and see how to solve it. Okay, so now we will be solving the fourth question. The fourth question is quarter to 6. We need to find the angle between hour hand and minute hand for quarter to 6. Quarter to 6 means 6:15. Okay, quarter to 6 means 6:15. All right. So let's draw the minute hand and hour hand. So the minute hand will be at 3 mark. Yes. And the hour hand will be bit ahead of 6. A little bit ahead of 6. Somewhat like this. So as per the concept of consecutive markings, what we know is we will have 90 degrees already, right? Between 3 and 6, there are 3 consecutive marks. Okay, between 3 and 6, there are 3 consecutive marks. So that will give us 90 degrees already. And there is some x remaining over here. We need to calculate this x. Okay, so let's assume it to be x and we need to calculate this. Okay, so keeping this in mind, we'll calculate x first. So x will be 15 by 60 of 30, or I could say 1 by 4 times of 30. 4 and 30 get cancelled, you will have 7.5 degrees remaining. Okay, so our answer will be 90 plus 7.5 degrees. That can be written as 97.5 degrees. Okay, in case you want to also write in terms of minutes, so 97 degrees plus 0.5 minutes. As we all 0.5 degrees, as we all know that 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. So 0.5 degree should be equal to 30 minutes using common sense. So 97 degrees plus 30 minutes. So that's how we can write 97 degrees 30 minutes is the angle between hour hand and minute hand. Okay. Now moving to the fifth question. Let me erase this. You can note it down by rewinding and pausing the video. All right. So doing the fifth question now. For 220, we will find the angle for 220. So the minute hand will be at 4. Okay, the minute hand should be at 4. And the hour hand will be little bit ahead of 2. Bit ahead of 2. Okay, so what will be the angle? What will be the angle over here? Let's calculate. So we already have 30 degrees for one consecutive part. That will be 30 degrees over here. We need to calculate for this particular x. Okay, now this particular x represents 40 minutes, the remaining 40 minutes. So 40 by 60 into 30 you can do. This will give you cut to cut. That is 20 degrees extra. So x comes out to be 20 degrees extra. So your answer will be 30 degrees plus 20 degrees. That will be 50 degrees. Okay. Why did I do 40 by 60? The reason is 20 minutes have already passed. I need to find for the remaining 40 minutes, the angle for remaining 40 minutes. Okay. And that's why I did 40 by 60. And the answer will be 50 degrees. Okay. Now moving to the sixth sum. and the last sum of the exercise. Moving to the sixth sum and the last sum of the exercise. The sixth sum is we need to find angle for 10:10. So the time is 10:10. That means the hour and will be at 2. Sorry, the minute hand will be at 2, and the hour hand will be ahead of 10, little bit ahead of 10. Okay. So let's calculate. So in this case, between 11 and 2, you're already creating 90 degrees. Between 11 and 2, you're already creating 90 degrees. And whatever is left here, it represents how much time? It represents 50 minutes. So we need to calculate angle for that 50 minutes, x. So x will be 50 by 60, the ratio into 30 degrees. So cancel it out, you will get 2 and 50, 25 degrees you will get. So 90 degrees plus 25 degrees. That will be the answer, is equal to 90 plus 25 should give you 115 degrees. So that's the answer, 115 degrees at 10:10. Okay. So that's the last sum of this exercise. In the next video lecture, we will be covering 2 theorems concepts on length of the arc and area of the sector. Okay. And then we shall start with exercise 1.2. So meet you in the next lecture.